I'm going to talk a little bit about the imposter syndrome. I had a really great conversation with a client, and she really touched on it. And she's highly successful, and she's in a high position in a Fortune 100 company, and she's surrounded by a lot of successful males, but she's sometimes challenged with the feeling of, does she belong here? And I know that feeling because I've had that feeling before of, looking around in the room that I'm in, when you judge like the room that you're in, like, whoa, there's some success in this room. And, I'm in this room too, so I must be successful, but then also questioning, do I really belong here? So I know that is one of the things that my client deals with, is that judgment of self. And obviously you're here, you did some things to get here, and you've been blessed to be here, and you've earned it more than likely when we dig down deep in it. But that question of, do I belong here? Am I in the right place? Or waiting to be outed, or waiting to be seen as the fraud that you see yourself as. So I want to talk a little bit about that mindset of the imposter syndrome. And if you guys can identify with me on some of the things that I'm saying tonight, let me know by tapping the like button. Let me know by sharing the video, and please make comments, because I'd love to hear your comments on it. So if you will give me a moment, I'm going to actually read what it says in Wikipedia on the imposter syndrome, just a little bit. So despite external evidence of their competence, those experiencing this phenomenon remain convinced that they are a fraud. So despite the social proof, despite the actual physical proof, those that experience this, and I have personally experienced this, feeling like, whoa, at any moment they're going to find out that I'm not qualified to be in this position, or I'm not qualified to do this role. And if you've ever experienced that, let me know that you're with me. Let's be honest, right? So despite the external evidence, those that are challenged with this feel like at any time you're going to be exposed. At any time, someone's going to notice that, hey, what are you doing here? Or you hear people, or you assume that people are saying that, oh, she must have gotten some kind of favor. Oh, she's lucky because she's in this position, or something has happened that has gotten you in this role. Not that you're qualified, and that you're bona fide, and that you're set aside, and that you are prepared, and this role has been prepared for you. And that, in a sense, is what the imposter syndrome is. And I want to talk tonight about 5 characteristics of the imposter syndrome, and then I want to talk about some antidotes. So some things that we can do when we know that we're experiencing the imposter syndrome, some things that we can do to really get ourselves out of that funk, to really just accept the fact that, we are all that and a bag of chips, and that we have done the work, we have put in the time. A lot of us have put in many years of time. Like, we have put in 10, 20, 5 years of time to get to this place. And we still feel like, wait, am I in the right place? Is somebody going to come along and say, hey, your name's on this list and you're not supposed to be here? And that's what the imposter syndrome does. It kind of sends you around in circles and around in circles. And it's really a great time waster, because you're focused on external, looking outward, maybe doing some comparison or some other things that is keeping you stuck in that place where you're feeling like, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of being here. And some of that unworthiness feeling comes from our childhood and things that we've dealt with that we carry forward, that even though we've done the work, maybe we've gotten the degree that's required for this role, like the successful men and women, but I mostly see it in women. So most of my clients are women. That are dealing with this have many accolades, so have many awards and have many diplomas and certificates. So you've done the work to be qualified for it. You've done the time, have did the time, so have been deemed an expert and even a master at it, right? An expert is considered if you've done the 5 years or the 10,000 hours, or even considered a master, have mastered that, but still have that feeling of maybe I don't know if I can match up to the others, like looking at others. So one of the characteristics of someone who is suffering from this imposter syndrome is feeling like that you must be in this position because of luck. Like you're just lucky, they just chose your name, you're lucky, or there was a mistake that was made that someone else fell out and they put you in there, that you can't be qualified for it, right? Even though you've done the preparation, you've done the study, you've done whatever it takes, because those who will do the work, those who will stay up late night, will get up early mornings, will shuffle the kids, and will do all the things that it takes to get to this position, but sometimes won't even apply. And I don't know if you've ever had that, because I've been in that position where I've done everything there is to get this contract, or everything that it requires. If it says you have to have this, so I'll go down and get this item. It says you have to have this certification, so I have this certification. It says you have to have a recommendation, so you ask someone to give you a recommendation, and now it's time for you to apply for it, and you start to feel that, well, there's 17 items on here and I only have 14. I must not be qualified, right? Whereas our male counterpart or someone else might say, there's 17 items on here, I have 8. Well, I'm going to go for it, and I'll figure out the rest. So sometimes we do judge ourselves, and that is a form of that imposter syndrome, that we are fully qualified, we're overqualified and over ready for this role, for this opportunity, for this time, for this position. But we question ourselves, and we think that it must be luck or a mistake. Number 2 is procrastination. Because we maybe have this challenge with the imposter syndrome, we procrastinate, we push it off, that we want it, we feel it, like, yes, this is for me, I should be going for this. I know, like, you may have the conversations that, yeah, this opportunity came, I'm gonna go for this opportunity, and the opportunity needs you to submit by August 20th, and you procrastinate until August 19th at 11:30. Or it says you need to get it in by 6 p.m. and you're finding other things to do, and which sometimes doesn't lend you to show up as your best or to give your best. Even though you know that you can show up better, maybe you procrastinate because you're talking yourself out of it, because that internal voice, that naysayer is saying, you can't do that. Are you sure? Because last week you were thinking about something else. Last week you were talking about doing something else. And this week you're talking about doing that. And maybe it's not that internal voice. Maybe it's an external voice of someone that you have in your circle, that maybe you need to quiet them, that they're telling you, well, last week you wanted to do this. Like, what are you doing now? And you come and tell them what you're thinking about doing, or where you're thinking about taking an opportunity. And they're like, so what do you want to work on now? I thought you said that you were doing this. I thought you said that you were this kind of coach. Well, there is evolution, right? We are always learning. We are always bettering ourselves. So yeah, maybe I said I was a life coach, and then I said I was a leadership coach, and now I'm saying I'm a mindset coach. Yeah, because I am getting to know myself better, right? Are you getting to know yourself better? The true essence of who you are, your most authentic self, and that may require you to change the name of your group. That may require you to apply for a different job. That may require you to call your company something different. Even though the core of you is still the same, but you're continually having that growth. And I just want to encourage you that that's okay. Continue to grow. The people who you need to serve, we see you, like we see the real you. People will come to you like, oh, you changed the name, but you're still the person that they wanted to connect with. Like, you're still the person that they knew, that had the answer that they need in their life right now. So don't let the imposter syndrome get you to that place where you're doing that procrastination. And then number 3 is perfection. So I'm sharing 5 characteristics of someone who is dealing with imposter syndrome. And then I'm going to share 5 antidotes. So the number 3 is perfection. That we get into this perceived perfection. We'll say, I'm a perfectionist. You know, I can't submit it until it's perfect. Have you ever done that? Let me know. Tap the like button, post an emoji, or let me know. If you have ever done that, say, I can't submit it until it's perfect, right? And I say, when you say that you're a perfectionist, it's a great way to waste time. It's a great time waster to say, well, I can't do it until it's perfect, right? I'm going to have to stay in a mirror because that one little piece of hair right there is sticking up and I can't go outside until it's perfect, right? And I'm going to miss the opportunity that is set before me because I am this, Kamisha, thank you for being honest and sharing with me. Thank you, Veronica, for being honest. I am this perfectionist, so I can't go for, now I really do have that piece of hair sticking up, right? So I can't go for that opportunity because I don't have my hair 100% ready. Or they said I had to have this and I'm missing this one thing, so I'm not going to take that chance. Because I don't want them to be exposed that I'm a fraud and I'm a fake and I really am not this. But you have all the social proof that is you. You have all the physical proof that is you. But we use the word I'm a perfectionist and people say, oh, okay, you're a perfectionist, so you're not going to do it. I call BS on that. I say that's a great way to waste time, to procrastinate, to push things to the side, that you can be imperfectly perfect and show up as your best. Give your best in everything that you do, and your best is enough. Your best is sufficient. Give your best. There is no perfection. There is no perfection. Like, we human beings cannot be perfect. We're flawed. We are all flawed. So perfection is number 3. And then number 4 is comparison. And we all do a form of comparison. And comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. So comparison, we're looking outward for the answer, and we see that someone did something well, and we see them at their best, and we're comparing that to our worst. So we're comparing their social media highlights to our challenges that we're dealing with. So someone's posting a picture, and you're looking at that picture that they have adjusted, and they have adjusted the lighting. They took 17 pictures to get that one picture, and we're comparing that photo to a photo that you took, or to something that you're challenged with. So don't compare someone's highlights with your challenges. You compare yourself with how you did yesterday. That should be the comparison that we should use. We want to continue to grow and continue to better ourselves, to set our own standards, set our own bar, and compare yourself to how you were yesterday. Are you getting better? Are you growing? Don't compare yourself to someone else's, what they're working on, right? You can use them as a model if they're doing well at something. That, yes, that's a good model. I'll maybe use some of the practices, but I'm going to make it work for me. That comparison never goes well. It never goes well. So that's number 4 is comparison. And number 5 is those who struggle with imposter syndrome. Sometimes it's because we set impossible, unrealistic goals. I've been guilty of that. Have you guys been guilty of that? Setting impossible, unrealistic goals. And sometimes the impossible is just the time frame that you put it in. I'm going to do this in a week. And it's something that should take you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to accomplish. So when you don't do it in a week, oh, I'm a fraud. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I let myself down again. So setting impossible goals sets us up for failure sometimes. Or if we're setting goals based on the comparison that we did by looking at someone else and what we think they have achieved, we don't know how long they've been working on that. So you're comparing something, setting a goal according to someone else who's doing something, and they've been in that field for 20 years, and you've been doing it for 2 years. Should you have the same goal? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you have the same goal, but not the same time frame. So if I've been doing something over and over and over for 20 years, I should be able to do it pretty quickly. So maybe I can do it in a week. But if you just started doing it last year, maybe you should give yourself 30 days. And if you do it in a week, then great, because we definitely want to celebrate, because that is another way where we are challenged with that imposter syndrome, is that we don't take time to celebrate. We don't celebrate our accomplishments. We're just moving on to the next goal. Oh, we accomplished that goal. Okay, good. And it's really great, but we won't say great. It's really, really awesome, fantastic, phenomenal. We accomplished that goal. We're like, okay, got that done. Next thing, next. And you never stop to give yourself credit for the accomplishments that you made. You never stop to take a pen and just say, let me write a to-done list. So if you were to write a to-done list today, and I would challenge you to do that. If you're watching live, you're watching on the replay, take a few moments and write a to-done list. Just look at this year. What have I gotten done this year that I really wanted to get done? I bet there's a lot of things that you've gotten done. Bet there's a lot of goals that you have accomplished that we just don't give ourselves credit for all those things that we've accomplished, because we're so focused on that which we want to accomplish. We're so focused on what's ahead that we don't stop to say, hey, man, look at that. Look at what I got done. Look at what I got accomplished this year. Look at those things that I've accomplished. So we have to be careful of setting those impossible goals. So those are the 5 characteristics that are letting us know that we are caught up in that imposter syndrome. Luck, we're feeling like that we're here because of luck or a mistake, even though we prepared. Procrastination, we're wasting time and giving less than our best. Perfection, comparison, and then setting impossible goals. And now I want to shift to some of the antidotes, so some of the things that we can do. We want to give some of the things that we can do so that we don't get caught up in that imposter syndrome, so we don't get caught up in that identity theft, that this is not me. Like, I can't be the VP of this department. I can't be the one who is in charge of all this. I can't be the one who is receiving all this. I can't be the one who has created all of this because I'm not worthy. Do you know what side of the tracks I come from? Do you know where my family comes from? Like, I can't be the one. I'm not worthy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are more than worthy of accomplishing that, of owning that, of living that. And more than likely, you've done the work that's required to be in that position. So you want to give yourself some grace that you have done what it takes. That self-doubt is what keeps us in that place of feeling like we're an imposter, because someone like me can't accomplish this. Someone like me can't be this successful. And at the beginning, I talked about that. This came up because I had a conversation with a client who is very successful in her career. And she was just really questioning herself and having self-doubt as to if she was worthy of being in this position, although that she's done all the work and she's done the training required. And I'm sure that you have as well. You have done that training required, and we're looking outward to see that, look at those people that are in the room with me. They're all successful. How can I be in the room with them? Because you're putting the perfection on them, that they must be perfect and I'm flawed. Well, everyone is flawed. All those people in the room with you, all those people in the same position as you, same career, same whatever, everyone's flawed, right? So some of the antidotes that we can do to not really get caught up in that is to get clear on your own skills, knowledge, abilities, and your own gifts. Get really clear on what you do well and what you don't do so well. Like, be clear as to who you are and how you show up, knowing that this is my lane, like this is what I can do. You should know that for sure. If somebody needs someone to create a basket, like, I'm a basket weaver and I know how to weave baskets. This is what I do. Know what you do well. Know what you're challenged with and you don't do so well. But know what you do well. Know what your skills are, your abilities are. Know what your gifts are. That place where you do it like no one else does it. So that you have that level of certainty which exceeds confidence. That certainty that I know I do well in this. So that's number one. Get clear on your skills and ability. Number two, set realistic goals. Set goals that are achievable with a little stretch. So yeah, we want to set a goal that's a little bit of a stretch, but we don't want to set unrealistic goals so that we continue to disappoint ourselves and we continue to set ourselves up for failure. We want to set realistic goals that have a little stretch in them. Get an accountability partner, someone that can help hold you accountable, that can check in with you to see how are you doing on those goals. And then when you do achieve those goals, number three, celebrate your wins. Celebrate when you achieve those goals. And I know that there's times when you probably have achieved something and you didn't stop to celebrate. I know for myself that I know there's times that I have achieved something great and I didn't stop to celebrate. And everyone else is saying, oh my God, congratulations. I can remember I won I used to work in retail and I won store manager of the year. 2,000 stores. I won store manager of the year. First time a female store manager and a female store manager of color won this award. And it was a great award. It came with a great financial blessing as well. And I really didn't celebrate. After they gave me all the accolades, I went up to my room and I was like, I'll see you guys in the morning. They're like, you're not going to come back down and celebrate? I was like, okay, well, I did the work. My team helped me win and let's move on. And that's just one time. And I'm sure you have times where you have accomplished something and you really haven't paused to celebrate. Celebrate yourself. You don't have to wait for someone else. So today I know that. Like, you don't have to wait for someone else to celebrate you. Celebrate yourself and celebrate your wins. That way you have something to look forward to for the next win. So that's number three. And then number four is to accept the social proof and the physical proof. That we think we're not qualified, but there's social proof that shows that, yes, you're qualified for this. There's physical proof that shows that, yes, you're qualified for this. So you have a master's degree in this category, and then you'll say that, oh, I'm not an expert. Well, what would it require for you to become an expert? So really accept that you have done the work that's required. And then number five, give yourself some grace. And for the whole thing, like, give yourself some grace that you are showing up, you are doing what you need to do. If you miss the time showing up, give yourself some grace and know that you are not an imposter.